CBS 4 following breaking news right now at 5. A live briefing underway after Morgan County Sheriff's deputies shot a suspect in a home invasion.
That suspect is recovering in the hospital. No sheriff's deputies were seriously injured. The shooting happened outside a home on Belt Lane in Martinsville this afternoon. A canine with the sheriff's office was also injured in that incident. Let's go to that briefing now with County Sheriff Richard Myers.
And we started yelling at the officers, screaming, and just making remarks to the officers, but would not continue to come out to the officers and talk to them. Also would not show their hands or show his hands. The officers asked him several times to show both their hands. So ultimately trying to get the person to come out, would not come out. Canine was there. The canine was sit in. As the canine started to go towards the person, he reached back behind him, grabbed a large blunt object and struck the canine over the head, rendering it unconscious, and then struck it at least 2 or 3 more times, and an officer fired on the subject. He was hit and went down. Officers immediately began medical attention to that person, and he was transported by air ambulance to a hospital in Indianapolis. His condition, I don't know right now. The canine was taken to a hospital in Indianapolis also to be checked out. Right now it's alert, up and moving, and we have a good prognosis, I think, with our canine, but it's going to have some x-rays and some further diagnosis.
Okay. Did the person didn't have a gun, as far as you know?
No, not that we know of, that did not have a gun. Like I said, it just struck the canine over the head, knocking it unconscious, and continued to strike it, so officers took that aggression.
Do you know what he hit him with?
I can't say exactly what it was, but they said it was a large, long blunt object, probably 3 or 4 feet long.
Are you releasing the name of the canine yet?
It's Bullet.
Okay. How many canines do you guys have?
We have 2 right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is pretty standard for him to be sent in after somebody like that, or?
It can be, yes. It just depends on all the situation. Again, they were speaking with the subject. He would not comply. He would not show his hands. These dogs, they save officers' lives every day, and that's what we saw here. So I don't know if the subject was wanting an officer to come up there and receive the same treatment, and the canine unfortunately took the brunt of that, but saved our officers, and unfortunately got the brunt of his treatment, but hopefully he'll be all right.
Who called 911?
The person's name?
I don't even know it yet, Keith. Yeah, I haven't heard his name yet.
Who called 911, and how did the person know someone had broken in or anything?
It was the resident's owner, so I think they were watching the cameras on their house and saw that a camera had either been moved or saw someone in there, but they knew somebody had been in the residence.
Any relationship between the suspect and the homeowner? Did they just pick it randomly, or?
Yeah, I don't know if that is there any relationship at all. The homeowner had just arrived home within probably the last 20 minutes to speak to our detectives, so we'll be able to find out, but I don't even know his name yet to say whether that is.
Do you know roughly what time it happened and who that person was who was shot?
It was about 15 minutes after 1, and I don't know the person's name that was shot.
You're the suspect, so no critical, stable, nothing like that?
I don't know right now. Yeah, they were flown to either Methodist or Eskenazi.
Were they just shot once?
That, I can't tell you that either. I don't know.
Do your deputies wear body cameras?
They do, yep.
Was
And
they rolling?
Yep.
Have you reviewed that footage?
I have not, no.
Are those deputies on administrative leave now?
Yeah, they're on administrative leave, exactly.
Did just one deputy fire their gun, or was
And
it
I don't know that yet either.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Who's the handler of the dog?
Deputy Tolan.
Tolan?
What do you think goes through deputies' minds? You know, we talk about how important these canines are to your officers, but, you know, when they see their canine being treated like that, what's, you know, a thought process there?
Well, it's one of your officers going down. It's one of your own. And that was very evident today because once that happened, one of the other officers picked it up and ran probably a 1/10 of a mile up a hill that I was winded walking up today to get it to a car so they could self-transport that to the emergency care. So it's one of your own.
And can I just be clear with something? There were no gun found with that person, right?
No.
And then also, just to be clear, that person, that individual went to that actual home, so he broke in, or how does that work? Or did
There
he
was,
live in that home?
what I can tell you on that is that there was evidence of intrusion, that somebody had used physical force to get inside the home, and that we told that there was not supposed to be anybody inside the house.
And that was the person who intruded in the house who was hitting the dog?
Yes, I'm assuming yes.
It's a pretty remote area. Is that pretty rare for that kind of out there? Or?
It is very remote out there. I'm sure you were out there. It's a one-lane, pretty much road by itself at the end of a dead-end lane there. So the relationship there, how that was picked out, is something that I'm interested to see how that comes out in the investigation.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Sheriff?
No, I appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so
Appreciate
you just heard
Thank you
there
so
from-
much. Yes, we just heard from Sheriff Rich Myers about kind of what happened here earlier today. At around 1, it sounds like a person saw on their home security footage that someone had broken into their home. That was in a 4200 stretch of Belt Lane. It's around Patton Lake here in Martinsville. And then the police then showed up to the house to see who was inside, responded as the homeowner had requested. The suspect who was inside, there was forced entry. He then did not comply with law enforcement when they had shown up. They could not see his hands. They released a canine. We've learned that canine's name is Bullet. The handler was Tulin, I believe he said. And then that dog was beaten with a blunt object and had injuries to the head. We're hearing that the canine is okay. At least one deputy fired his firearm and injured the suspect. The suspect was then airlifted. The canine was taken to a vet to get treatment, both of them. We also believe that the sheriff has told us that a deputy slipped and fell on some ice for a minor injury, but a lot to still investigate with the situation, and we'll continue to bring you more updates as it unfolds. Live in Martinsville, Claire Curry, CBS 4 News.